We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tăng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhật thiết chúng sanh, thịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo hạ mùng, rồi hạ liều sanh thoát tư ly khổ đạc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sananto Suchedo Ye Hara Hodi San Miao San Puto Xie. Nam mô Tạc Đạc Tha Tô Già Đà Già La Đề Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I am able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai qian wan jie nan zao yu. Wo jin jian wen de shou qi, yuan jie ru lai zhe shi yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Qingliang, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns, and all good known advisors of Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、金良大士、师父上人、各位出家人、各位善知识、弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư Thượng Thiên Hóa, quý thầy cô và các vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 8th of November 2024. We're here at the Way Mountain Temple to continue discussing the prologue of the Avatamsaka Sutra. We're on slide 1057. It's about door number 2, the store and the teachings contained. All right, excuse me. All right, let's jump right into it. Right in the text it says, although these Icchantikas have the Buddha nature, it is encased in a field of limitless offenses and unable to escape like a silkworm in a cocoon.
当闻即云，彼一阐提虽有佛性，而为无量罪垢所缠，不能得出如禅处减。
Okay. 158. You see, we're right in the midst of some text that's incomprehensible and doesn't mean that much to almost all of you. And this is what learning wisdom is about. It's not about you want an expose on things. It's about picking up bits and pieces. What for? Why would you want to pick up bits and pieces only? Why can't we just read some thesis or some kind of write-up on the teachings and be done with it? Too early for you? Okay, never mind. Yes, 7.
Thank you, Master. I think it's because that's how they present themselves to us.
Present themselves to us. So mysterious.
We can only grasp so much at a time.
Yeah, it's from your Catholic upbringing, I'm pretty sure.
No.
Okay, anyone else? Because God said so. Anyone else? Why? Why do we, why are we, why do we keep on doing this to ourselves? These sutras are endless. And then, the original version of this Avatamsaka Sutra is boundless verses, boundless names, boundless teachings. And then the Dragon Tree Bodhisattva chose the smallest version to brought it back to India in Sanskrit that was transcribed. And then the Chinese great masters got pity on us. They transmitted, they only asked for 40 chapters, which are considered to be representative of all the teachings. And here in the US, do we get 40 chapters in English? Hell no. We Americans need 40 chapters, right? So why? Why does it keep on shrinking and shrinking and shrinking? Yes, 7.
I'll try again.
One more time.
It may be my last. Maybe it's because it's our limitation, our lack of understanding.
Your lack of understanding. You have no faith in yourself. You sell yourself short. Anyone else? Yes, 3.
You could connect to somebody later on during Dharma.
You look too happy. Never mind. I don't like it. Yes, ma'am. 5.
Emitofuo, Master. Maybe because less people understand the Avatamsaka Sutra. As long as the time passes by, less people are interested and understand it. Or not understand, it's not the word, but...
Are interested. Few people are interested. Is it fair to say then, a smaller version to carry around? If you have boundless verses, how are you going to carry it around with you? Yeah?
Well,
is that what you're getting at? I'm helping her.
Again, Master?
Huh? I mean, if you have the original version, which is like endless, so how are you going to carry it from India to China?
There is no, possible way.
I'm sorry?
There is no possible way.
There's no way. There's no way. You can drop the possible. Okay, there's no way to carry it. There's no way for Master Dragon Tree to bring it from the Dragon Palace, where the original version was, up back to India. It's too much even for him. He said, I can't carry this. Forget it. Okay? He liked it. He said, I like this. Okay. But then he says, no, all these Indians, all they could take is the smallest version. So he brought it up there, back to India. And then the Chinese masters said, look, the Chinese said, oh, these Chinese people, they only get, 40 chapters. That's maximum. No need to burden, their horses. Because back then, in order to bring sutras from India to China, you have to use horses and donkeys. Those poor horses and donkeys, it's out of compassion.
So they don't have help. the people that brought from India then to China, there was no help.
No help. There's no highways, no freeways. The Silk Road was not built yet. No high-speed rail, no airplanes. So you have to basically walk the desert, climb the mountains, okay? And by the time the sutras arrived in China, the first set was carried on a white horse. That's why the white horse monastery was built to honor that event, where the Mahayana sutras were first transmitted and transported by a white horse. Master Xuanzang used a white horse to carry the original subset of Mahayana sutras. That's what happened. Okay, and when they traveled from India back to China, many people died because of bad weather, brigands, and so forth. Yes, sir, in the back. Numero uno.
Thank you, Master. I think also it's not about quantity, but about quality as well. If we don't have a good knowing advisor, it's really hard to understand 40 or more chapters.
Are you saying that the Chinese are more stupid than the Indians, and we Americans more stupid than the Chinese?
I'm saying that we have less because maybe thanks to our good knowing advisor, we can go deeper into what we have.
Back then, trust me, there's no concept of good knowing advisor yet. A good knowing advisor is a Chan concept. Okay? You know too much. And yes, go forth.
Hi, Master. Just a slight correction. So the White Horse Temple, the original sutra, is not requested by Master Xuanzang. That's Master Xuanzang is in the Tang Dynasty, about 500 years later. So this is in the Han Dynasty, around 604 AD.
Ah, thank you. The Chinese are much more accurate than we Americans. Thank you for the correction. I stand corrected. Okay, but back then, the concept was back then. They use the animals to carry sutras back to China. So there's quite a bit of work involved there. Yes, 5.
Master, maybe because we are we are in the Dharma ending age. So as the Dharma ending age goes by or past, the Avatamsaka Sutra I think is the one that will disappear first. I don't remember. No, the Shurankam, I'm sorry. I get confused. But maybe because of that, because of the Dharma ending age, and also because, it's a sutra that unfortunately will be disappear.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, that's a good point. The Shrangma Sutra will be the first to disappear because they're the most dangerous to the demons. Avatamsaka Sutra probably is not that dangerous to the demon because no one understands it. No Buddhist disciples really can understand Avatamsaka Sutra. So the demons say, I don't care. That's a good sutra. It will confuse the Buddhists. Okay, so they probably will be the last one to disappear, just before the Amitabha Sutra.
Master, and you have a good point about the people don't understand. That's why also is like...
Yeah, they don't understand, okay? But there's no need to insult them. Anyone else? Why? Why do we only get bits and pieces and that's it? That's how we teach in Mahayana. Why? As I said, why not? Why don't we just do an expose and say this is what you need to know, and then they can keep on reciting a sutra, reciting that thesis paper, and eventually you get it. And today we get one phrase, tomorrow we get one phrase, next month, next year, eventually you memorize the thesis. You got everything. It happens. It's possible. So why not? Ha ha ha. This is so fundamental. And you can't even answer this. Ha ha ha. Okay. Can I borrow some money? No one bets anymore? I bet and I lost recently. Yeah, anyway. You're cruel. Yes, one.
Thank you, Master, because it's not about knowledge. If not, the academic people would have been enlightened long ago. It's about the confirming it by yourself through your cultivation.
About what?
It's confirming
Confirming.
yeah, through your cultivation.
Confirmation, confirming. It sounds Spanish. Confirmar. Okay, thank you. I'm learning now. I'm picking up Espanol. It's never boring lecturing to you. There's so many characters here. Anyone else? Very good. Okay, almost there. Almost. Very good. This is what happened. You're dangerous. I'm running out of things to teach you. I'm glad I still have one little bit left today. That's as a proof. Okay? Here, before you answer and I lose money, it's too close now. Okay? No more bets. Rien ne va. You know, when you go to roulette, you say, no more bets. In French, rien ne va. S'il vous plaît, rien ne va. You don't gamble, do you? What's the matter with you? Anyway. Never mind. I control myself. This is the most obvious fact that I think that's so often overlooked, because cultivation is never about knowledge. Never. What is cultivation? Cultivation is about opening your wisdom. I would settle having no temples, nothing at all, as long as you have wisdom. That's all that matters. Ultimately, if you open your wisdom, then all of this, all the suffering, all the hard work is well worth it. Agree? That's the purpose of Mahayana. Mahayana exists in the world. Everything, the sutras, the shastras, the good noon advisors, the temples, the statues, all of them are for the express purpose of opening your wisdom. Agree? Everything we do in Buddhism, believe it or not, is for the sake of opening your wisdom. Make no mistake about it. We never lose sight of that. It's all about your wisdom. Okay? Not mine. It's your wisdom. You're my students, my disciples. You study from me. Therefore, my job is help you open your wisdom. I study in my teacher's job is open my wisdom. Is it clear? So how do you open your wisdom? This is how we do. This is a recipe. What is a recipe? The recipe is you learn a little bit today and go back. Reflect upon that and apply it in your daily life. If you do that, it's a lot more useful than knowing about everything and not reflecting upon yourself. What happens to intellectuals and everyone else is whatever they know stays up here in their false mind, in the intellect. They don't apply it to their lives. And that's a problem. If you do that, you never open your wisdom. Opening your wisdom requires you, all you have to do is every day, every time, pick up a small piece. You don't need to understand. See, we spend an hour and a half today talking to you because hopefully, maybe through this hour and a half, okay, one of you will pick up one piece only. And it's called fishing. We fish in the ocean and see who bites. And if one of you bites, okay, and it will help you open and you bite, you like it, and you apply it to your daily life, then that's cultivation. That's all we can ask for. But if you listen for 1.5 hours and you do nothing, you say, okay, I patiently sit here and listen. Oh, he's so boring. It gets worse and worse for me. And the next time you go in and you open your phone there and you learn to page through it, no one notices. Okay? It's not, you don't have to pretend. Okay? All you have to do, again, you listen and say, today I got this one piece here, I like it. In South Carolina, feel free to stand up and say, hey, thank you, sayonara, dude. See you next week. If you got 2, oh boy, are you rich. That's all it takes. One piece of wit, one piece you can use in your life, then your time is well worth it. You got 2 pieces you can use in your life, oh boy, your wisdom will unfold a lot faster. 3 pieces, oh boy, I'm impressed. 4 pieces, I love you. Francis, you look so skeptical. Have faith. Some faith. Got that? Is that clear? It's about listening and reflecting upon yourself. That's what I mean by using in your daily life. You hear, for example, today on slide 1058, Icchantikas, those who don't believe. We talked about this last week, and why we keep on talking about this. Because faith is critical. You ask yourself, do I have enough faith? Yeah? That is cultivation. And then maybe you understand, wait a minute. Faith, if these people who don't have faith, they don't get to become a Buddha. Okay, so the reverse could be true. The more faith, the quicker I become a Buddha. Yeah? That's the difference between low level and high level, you see? So, therefore, the more faith I have, the higher I reach. Okay? Yeah. All right, 1058. Right in the text it says, although those Icchantikas have the Buddha nature, they do have it, but the Buddha nature is enclosed in the field of the limitless unclean karma of the evil offenses they have committed. This is interesting. It says here, if you create bad karmas, it's like you are making yourself unclean. That's all you're doing. Okay? And what happens, and the point here is that the more offenses you create, okay, the dirtier, the filthier you get. Don't blame anyone. It's all on you. Okay? You create offense, you become more filthy. You create one more offense, you are filthier and filthier and filthier. It's your fault. It's not anyone else's fault. It's your fault. How about that? Stop blaming others. It's you who are causing your own troubles. Okay? And it continues, 1059. Okay? Master YongHua, this is also a very, very interesting concept that is true in Buddhism. It says there, each and every one of us have created so many offenses. Each one of us have created so many offenses that if these offenses have a form, has a shape, it would fill up the entire empty space. Isn't it scary? This is what we do. We create offenses. So many offenses. Lucky for us, the offenses we create, we can't see them. That's why we keep on creating more and more and more because, hey, no one knows, right? But what happens, even if no one knows, you are making yourself more filthy. That's all. And it continues later, okay? It says here, and you get filthier, like a silkworm being wrapped up in a cocoon. You are what? You are simply imprisoning yourself. There's no need for prisons. You yourself, imprison yourself. Imprison yourself. We don't need to send you to prisons. You remain stupid. It's your own doing. Okay? 1060. Therefore, they have it as if they did not have it.
此则有而非无.
So, even though they, Icchantikas, even though they have the Buddha nature, but it's as if they don't have it. It might as well consider it as if they don't have it. And that's the rationale for the Buddha's explaining Icchantikas have no Buddha nature. You see, that's a proof right there for you that the Buddha's teaching needs to be interpreted for you because you don't understand. Because the first part of the Nirvana Sutra, you know about that, it's often quoted. The Nirvana Sutra, the great sutra is there, the one of the highest level of teachings in Buddhism. First part transmitted to China, it says, Icchantikas don't have Buddha nature. And that's the rationale behind it. They have the Buddha nature, but because they don't believe in Buddha Dharma, they don't believe in cause and effect, therefore they kept on creating offenses after offenses, and it has the function of encasing them in a cocoon of stupidity. It's just as if they have the Buddha nature, but they are imprisoned. They cannot get out. It's like they're American, but they're rotting away in an American prison. So they are Americans, but it's as if they're not Americans. They have the Buddha nature, but it's as if they're not. They don't have the Buddha nature. (1062). Furthermore, it says, or there may be possession of the Buddha nature on the part of people who are Icchantikas, while people with good roots may be without it, and so forth. From which one knows that there are no people who lack the seed nature.
又云： 或有佛性，阐提人有，善根人无等，即知无有五种性人。
And this is 1063. This is part of the scholarly thing. It's okay to discuss it, okay? And you can talk back and forth. And in the sutra it says there's some, but there are cases where Icchantikas, you could say that they have the Buddha nature, okay? Even though they have lack faith, they still have the Buddha nature. Whereas people with roots who may not have the Buddha nature, okay? Why? It's because it follows here. It explained in the sutras and the shastras, the 5 kinds of Buddha nature. Buddha nature in the wholesome, Buddha nature in the unwholesome, the Buddha nature in the indeterminate, Buddha nature in principle, Buddha nature in fruition. Okay, well, it continues. Icchantikas have a Buddha nature, while people with roots do not have the Buddha nature. In the sutra text, the text there says it's because of this third group, the unwholesome Buddha nature. Okay, the second group, Buddha nature in an unwholesome. Okay, so he said, regardless of these groups, there's always a Buddha nature in there. Okay, that's what the teachings are saying. 1066, moreover, the above, in quoting the Lankavatara on the 5 natures, itself confuses that passage.
况且引论且五性自迷其文，比经第五性云。
Okay, and this is again when you have a great in the Chan school, you have these great teachers who approach to helping you enlightenment is different. Whereas here in the teaching school, sutras, when you study the literature, the scriptures, then they inundate you with the knowledge. Okay, and so that's why our training puts emphasis on Chan first, so that you can absorb this knowledge much more. Okay, so this is why we're doing this. That's why we're studying sutras as part of our work, as part of the monk's work, is to lecture on sutras for that reason. Traditionally, all good monks and nuns must lecture on sutras. Okay, and this is your responsibility. So if you don't want to lecture on sutras, then support those people who lecture on sutras. It's okay. Okay? Moreover, the above, in quoting evidence from Lankavatara Sutra, there are 5 natures there. There are 5 natures are the sound hearers, the solitarily enlightened, bodhisattva vehicles, okay, that's 3 natures, and then the unfixed, and those without a nature. Okay, and it says, Master Qingyang says there's some confusion there. 1068, the 5th nature in that sutra says 5, not having a nature, which refers to Icchantikas.
五者无性，谓一阐提。
And 1069, that 5th nature there, that's those without nature there, and that's those with insufficient faith. 1070, of these, there are 2 kinds. One, those who have burned up all the good roots, meaning those who slander the bodhisattva's store.
此有2种，一者焚烧一切善根，即谤菩萨藏。
1071, he's talking about there are a lot of people out there, and even here as well, who have insufficient faith. And the worst kind is Icchantikas. That's why they're the ones who suffer the most. Okay? And this is not a criticism. This is meant for you to reflect on yourself. Okay? There are two kinds of Icchantikas, those who have insufficient faith. One, there are those who burn up all the good roots. This is good news. The good news is that you have a lot of good roots. However, if you're not careful, you will burn up all your good roots. How do we know you have good roots? No, he says, Master Shenhua says here in slide 1071, and he says, you burn your good roots because through your three poisons, you get angry, you get greedy, and you become stupid. You do stupid things. When you get angry, you create anger karmas. When you're greedy, you create greed karmas. And when you're stupid, you create stupidity karmas. Okay? And when you do that, you're burning up your good roots. You don't have to believe, but you believe. It tells you that when you create karmas, bad karmas, you're harming yourself. You may feel justified in exerting revenge on someone else, okay? But you are harming yourself first. You're burning up all of your good roots. Okay? And if, remember, if using the analogy that Master Shenhua, the Chinese Buddhism, they like to quote, it says, the karma you create, if they had form, okay, it will fill up empty space. Each and every one of us, if our karmas that we created have form, they would fill up empty space, okay? And then when you create these bad karmas, okay? And also, of course, when you talk about bad karmas, you also have good karmas as well, okay? So the good karmas also fill up empty space. That's how many there are. And bad karmas also fill up empty space, okay? However, every time you create bad karmas, you're burning up that forest, that mountain of good karmas. So what's left is just bad karmas for you. Therefore, you get what you deserve. You're supposed to suffer. Yes, 3.
Master, what did the indeterminate mean? Something about Buddha nature and the indeterminate on the past slide. Yeah, that one. Buddha nature in the indeterminate. I know it's scholarly, but I was just curious.
Indeterminate here refers is neither wholesome nor unwholesome. You know, there is a good and evil, wholesome and unwholesome. There's also beyond it. It cannot be categorized as wholesome or unwholesome. That's why it's indeterminate, to cover all the bases. Yes? 1.
Thank you, Master. I have a question because I thought that once you have good roots, once you have good seeds, they will stay there until they mature in the future. But here it's saying that every time you do bad deeds, you're burning those good roots. So do they stay there forever, or are we really burning them when we have those?
There are certain karmas, evil karmas, bad karmas you create that will burn up all those good roots. Such as, it says right here, slandering the Bodhisattva's store. Go ahead and steal, it's okay. Go ahead and kill, it's okay. But when you slander the bodhisattvas and the bodhisattva's teachings, boy, are you in trouble. I'm not looking at anyone, okay? Don't get offended. That's all it says. It's very specific. There's a time, there's a certain kind of karmas that will burn up all your good roots, such as when you slander the bodhisattva or the bodhisattva store. I'm adding the bodhisattva for you. They don't explain here the bodhisattva store, okay? But that's what it's referring to as well. Yes, K-YouTube.
네, 주민님의 질문입니다. 지난주 일천제의 믿음에 관한 법문에 대해 제가 이해한 바로는 일천제는 불성은 있지만 업장으로 믿지 못한다 하셨는데 그렇다면 일천제가 이 업장을 극복하기 위해서는 무엇을 해야 하는지 질문드립니다. 법문에서는 스스로의 삶을 살고 올바른 일을 하라고 하셨는데 그것만 하면 될까요?
This question is from Jumi. So Icchantikas has a Buddha nature, but they don't believe because of their karma. So to overcome this karma, what should they do? In the Dharma talk, you said, do something good. Is it enough?
You do good things and you avoid slandering the Bodhisattva store. Master Ching Liang is very specific. Don't slander the Bodhisattva store. Don't slander the Bodhisattva's teachings. Yes, go Forest.
Master, sorry for interrupt. This is a very small translation suggestion. I think only a few slides early on 1060. Can we show that? 1060.
1053?
60.
60.
Yeah. Yeah, here, so here it should be 此则有而非无. So it actually just means that therefore they have it, and it's not they don't have it. So it's just talking about even because the Buddha nature is like a silkworm wrapped in the cocoon, it's actually there. So I double-checked the Master YongHua's explanation. I think it's also saying that.
Thank you.
Right, thank you.
That's correct. Would that work? Okay, very good. Okay, that's the meaning of that section. Very good, thank you. Where are we? Okay. And 1072, Master Shua went to example, he says, don't be jealous. What does it have to do with the Bodhisattva store? Slandering Bodhisattva store. To go from slandering the Bodhisattva store to say, you're jealous. Seeing people that have good roots, so they're envious and they slander and destroy those people. What does it have to do with the Bodhisattva store? And then Master YongHua says, when he says, let me tell you, most important thing when you cultivate the way is not to be jealous and be afraid that others are better than you. Bodhisattva wants people to be better than them, but and so forth. Okay? So why? What is he getting at? Why does he use this example of someone being jealous of others? What does that have to do with the Bodhisattva store? Slandering the Bodhisattva store. Because he has a lot of jealous disciples. That's all it means. I read this what does it have to do with it? And say, he's talking about this because when he's lecturing, he say, you shouldn't be jealous of others. So you look at that person, you shouldn't be jealous of others. You shouldn't be jealous of others. And then they say, I'm supposed to be talking about Bodhisattva store. So they say, so that's why you don't want to slander Bodhisattva store. Okay, but there actually is more subtle thing that you don't understand. Number one, okay, when you slander others who are not Bodhisattva, because most of you are not Bodhisattva, it's just safe to slander them. Okay? But someday you get unlucky, and that's all it takes. One bad day, and everything, all the good things you did before that will be gone. Isn't that scary enough? That's what it means. Only one bad, unlucky day, that's all. That's all it takes. Therefore, don't do it. It's not worth it. Don't go there. Is that clear? It's very simple rules. That's something you ought to consider for yourselves. Don't slander others. Don't be jealous of others, because you only hurt yourself eventually. Yes, 3.
Master, does this have to do with if somebody finds the Dharma on YouTube and says something disrespectful and then they can't come back on YouTube next time? Does it pertain to that?
Coming back or not doesn't matter. What happens is that they burn up all the good roots. Whether they come back or not is not that important. It's they hurt themselves. There's nothing we can do for them. Nothing. It's nothing personal. They simply hurt themselves. They cut themselves off. That's all. And that's what I mean. No doing revenge. Today lunch I talked about it. People seem to like it. Huh? 无作报复. Am I correct? The Chinese person, Chinese-speaking people. 无作报复. Is that correct? The fu is correct? Okay. So when someone is jealous of you and does things to harm you, what do? Nothing. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to cry. You don't have to say, "Oh, Master, it's so unfair. I did nothing." And yet, people attack me. People are not nice to me. If they try to harm me, you know what? You don't even have to do that. Because if they harm you, they do evil things to you out of jealousy or whatever the reasons, and you are a bodhisattva, what happens? They burn up their good roots. They will sink deeper. They only suffer more. Isn't that enough? You don't need to punish them. You don't need to beat them up. And that's what I call, because the Americans like it, because fairness, you mean to me, I'm mean to you. That's completely justified. And I explained to you in the form of Buddhism, 无作报复. Okay? You don't do anything. That's why it hurts more. You do anything, you're helping them. You do nothing, when they see that you're not reacting to them, guess what? They escalate. And they escalate. And they escalate. And guess what? They go into negative territory. Okay? Remember, whatever you have, you burn it up. Yeah? Okay? And then they keep on escalating. Guess what? Now the seeds are there. When you have more good roots, the seeds here will burn it up. More good roots, the seed will burn it up. Isn't that scary? The bodhisattvas are the most dangerous because you can get into big trouble if you harm them. Therefore, don't harm. Isn't that the first teaching? Master YongHua puts it, no fighting, but I teach you, no harming. It's much more precise because that's what people do. They harm because they feel righteous about it. You are wrong. You're a bad person. Therefore, I am entitled to harm you. You deserve to be harmed. And this person happens to be a bodhisattva. Who gets hurt? Them or you? So all the cultivation you've done for your entire life is burned up. All the merit is burned up. And then, and then there are more seeds for you to get burned up more and more and more. So you sink deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. That's all you're doing to yourself. And that's what I meant. Okay, the sweetest revenge is to do nothing. Go ahead, go. Is it go forest? Yeah.
Dạ thưa Thầy, con muốn hỏi là nếu như mà mình làm việc hại người khác mà mình không có ý thức được là mình đang làm việc hại, giống như là mình thích làm nạn nhân, thích làm người đáng thương á, thì cũng vô tình là hại người khác, nhưng mà mình không ý thức được cái việc làm của mình thì làm sao?
Hello, Master. If I harm other people, but I don't have a recognition, or I don't recognize that I'm harming others, it's like I like to become a victim of it, but I don't have a recognition that I harm others. What to do?
I don't know how to help you. So sorry. It's something that cannot be helped. It's interesting because when I learn precepts, it says there in the novice precepts, it says, if you steal from a triple jewel, this bodhisattva says, if you steal from a triple jewel, I can't help you. Same thing here. If you hurt a bodhisattva, I can't help you. I'm very sorry. Whether you meant it or not, I can't help you. You should be scared. Okay? So let's discuss it a little bit. Maybe there's hope after all. Let's say there's some people who don't mean to hurt you. Yeah? Is that what you're referring to? No?
Nếu như mà con biết cái việc làm con ác thì con sẽ không làm. Nhưng mà giống như cái deep down, cái mind của con là nó muốn cái gì đó nhưng mà nó hành động ra thì nó khác.
Okay. So let me be specific for you. Okay. Again, you hurt someone. We all hurt someone. Right? It happens. Sometimes we don't mean to. Like we drive a car, and in one moment of inattention, because we checked our cell phone when we're not supposed to, we run over a bodhisattva. It happens, especially here in Southern California. We have a lot of texts at the wrong times. Okay? So here in California, we get rear-ended constantly. Vicky? Yeah? On the freeway. Bang! Okay? And of course, we don't mean to. Right? So what's your excuse?
Được là con có cái mean to đó.
So it happens. Okay? But so we rear-end someone, or you run over a person. It happens. There's not a whole lot we can do. Okay? If that person is not a bodhisattva, it's okay. No problem. Sort of. But what if it's a bodhisattva? What to do? Agree? I mean, it's practical, right? That her question is very practical. I want to point it out to her what she's really paraphrase for her, because make it very specific. We make mistakes. We create offenses. We create karmas. That's life. Okay. But what if we harm? Okay. We harm someone. In particular, we slander someone because I hate you. So I slander you because I want to make sure that others don't get hurt by you. Therefore, I said, you're a bad person. Don't listen to her. She's a bad person. But I didn't realize that you actually are a bodhisattva. So what happens? See, it's very specific, guys. Slander the bodhisattva, which is extremely dangerous. Killing them is not that bad. You kill bodhisattva, okay. There's more bodhisattvas. But you slander bodhisattva is a big no-no. Isn't that funny? I find it so cute here. It's okay to kill bodhisattva, but it's not okay to slander a bodhisattva. To me, that's how I read it. Kill him, you go to jail. You slander him, you're hopeless. So nothing can be done for you. Okay? So what happens? You slander someone because this one was pretty bad. Clearly. It's so, we all have a sense, we all are righteous. So, like you say, I don't like you. Everything you do really irks me. Everything you do is so ikkya. Okay, no politics. I promise the rest of the night. It really kills me, okay? And therefore, it's so reasonable to slander this person. But he happens to be a bodhisattva. Oops. Not only did she ask about, I didn't mean to, I said, with good intentions. You slander him out of good intentions so that others don't get hurt. And he happens a bodhisattva, propagating a bodhisattva store. What happens? And according to Tieng, she says, I didn't mean to. And what she means by that is that, oops, I didn't realize you are a bodhisattva. I only slander the bad part of you. I didn't mean to slander the bodhisattva part of you. Is that what you mean?
No, what I mean is deep down my mind, I mean to slander them, but the action show that I'm not. It's actually the opposite.
The opposite? This one is so more convoluted than I thought. So she says she slanders this person, okay? But on the surface, actually, is praising this person. Actually, it's not slander at all, okay? Is that what you mean?
Yes, Master.
I can't help you. I gave you the answer already. Okay? But what if this person is a bodhisattva and you slander this person because out of conviction, because you know this is so wrong, you still feel righteous about it? What happens? Huh? It happens. It's bound to happen. We're all judgmental. ¿Qué pasa? What's going to happen to us? Yes, 5.
Emitofuo Master, maybe the karma will be very bad, but maybe it's not hopeless. Maybe if that person that is slander will fall like, I don't know, like a lot, like to the deep down, maybe it doesn't go to the deep down. Maybe it's like in the middle.
In the middle, it's okay. It's still hope. It's not so bad, right? As long as in the middle,
Well,
the middle way.
it depends, maybe. But yeah, it's not that bad as in the deep down.
As a deep down, okay. It's not so bad. According to Patricia, there's hope for her, according to her. Yes, numero uno.
Thank you, Master. But I think it's the same because we actually don't know what bodhisattvas are doing. We don't know what's their work. We don't know how they work. So for us to discriminate if they are doing good things or bad things is not in our position.
No, in your position. So says, what's the Spanish word? I didn't know. No conoce. ¿No? No sabe. I didn't know. No sabe. Yes, YouTube. K-YouTube.
네, 유미님의 질문입니다. 비방이 아니라 실제 일어난 일에 대해 언급한 것도 비방인가요? 예를 들면 세수를 안 해서 세수를 안 했다고 한 것인데 그 대상이 보살이라면 보살을 비방한 것인가를 질문드립니다.
If I don't slander, but if I just mention what happened, is it also slandering? For example, he didn't wash his face, so I said, you didn't wash your face, but that person is bodhisattva. Am I slandering?
Then what? You wash your face and then what?
He didn't wash
Put on
his
mascara?
He didn't wash his face, but I did. And then I told him that you didn't wash your face. Is it slandering?
Is what? The last sentence? Is it what?
Slandering?
Is slandering?
Yes, is it slandering?
Oh, I don't know about the face. And slandering here is creating, say something to create mistrust or to destroy the reputation of someone. The face is okay, I think, especially in Korea. faces can be repaired. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, if the answer is if you deliberately slander the Bodhisattva store, you can't be helped. Seriously. Okay, it's too much. On the other hand, if you slander a person who happened to be a Bodhisattva, guess what? You can't be helped. So don't do it. Okay, simple as that. 1074. And 2, those who have sympathy and pity for all the realms of living beings, meaning the Bodhisattvas who say, if there are living beings who have not entered Nirvana, I myself also will not enter it.
二者，怜悯一切众生界，即是菩萨。若有众生不入涅槃，我亦不入。
Okay, 1075, and the second kind. Remember the first kind who basically burned up the good roots, okay, by slandering the Bodhisattva teachings. And the second kind is actually a Bodhisattva. Okay, they have all kinds of good roots, but refuse to enter Nirvana. Okay, and so Master YongHua says it's not the way you think. For us ordinary people, we see day and night, the sun and the moon, and we distinguish between day and night, but actually the sun is still there. You cannot say the sun disappeared. Okay, you can't see it. That's all. And therefore, don't be so stuck on your knowledge. And 1077, the Chinese wisdom is that one yin, one yang makes up the way. One yin is night, one yang is day, is the analogy. Or one yang is one man, and one yin is a woman, and then that's the way. And the way is one yang and one yin. The way is equal parts of yin and yang. Okay, that's how you practice. Any problems? So he's saying that here, in terms of having no faith in manifest, when you can only thing you can observe is that Icchantikas, they don't believe, okay, therefore they don't have the Buddha nature. Whereas the Bodhisattvas, they don't necessarily ever enter Nirvana, even though they have the Buddha nature. Okay? And then he talked about, speaking of men and women, he talked about in his early days, he sent 5 of his disciples, I think 2 monks and 3 nuns or something like that, or the other way around, 3 men and 2 women, to go to Taiwan to receive full ordination. And there's a senior monk who used to be an abbot somewhere in Taiwan, who got them, talked to them and said, you know, that Buddhism is on the decline because of women. And Master YongHua immediately said, that's unreasonable. It takes both men and women to cause a decline. Okay, so you can't blame on the women alone. And so he says the wisdom from this senior monk, is to do not try to save women. And those 5 disciples of his, okay, who went there to receive full ordination, full precepts, they bought into it and they believe it, and they subscribe to it as well. And Master YongHua says, that's wrong. These my 5 children, they're so confused. They cannot tell right from wrong. Just because the senior monk says so, they blindly listen to it. Okay? And actually, that thing about the decline of Buddhism is caused by women has a little bit of truth from a Buddha's teachings. Buddha said, as Buddha said, by including the women into my Sangha, it reduces the lifespan of my Buddha Dharma by 500 years. And American women heard it, they got very upset. They said, so you blame it on us? You bet. Buddha said so. So this monk here, he used that. He based his stuff on that. He says women are trouble. Okay, and I know someone will cut out this section and say, Master YongHua says women are trouble. Of course they are. Okay? But it's because of the trouble that we become enlightened. If there's no trouble in the world, there's no need to become enlightened. You cannot become enlightened unless there's trouble. Okay, and 1081, Master YongHua says you cannot just save, not save women because you need to save your mother, and therefore don't spread this garbage here. And then he also mentioned there's someone, the monk who made a vow that not to talk to women. Okay. And he complained about it. He said, I made a vow to not talk to women, and women keep on coming and talk to me. Okay? It's like when he says he decided not to talk to women, there's some sort of invisible force that pull women to come over and talk to him. Definitely need to talk to him. Every time they come to the temple, they pick out that monk who refuses to talk to women and go and ask him questions. Okay? And he's very upset. He told Master YongHua, what is it with these women? I made a vow not to talk to them, and they kept on coming and talk to me. And Master YongHua says, yeah, you made a vow, okay? But she didn't make a vow not to talk to you. I don't know about his disciples. My disciples so much nicer and better, much more reasonable. We hope so. Okay? And that's what happens. You know, it's funny, when you cultivate, you come up with these strange ideas, you feel they're so reasonable, when you find scriptures and you can make a case for your position based on a Buddhist teaching, okay? But what happened is that you need someone to tell you what's wrong, and that's what the story got here. They're very lucky, those 5 people. They got Master YongHua to tell them and correct them. Okay? And that's very important. If he didn't correct them, these 5 people would have gone the wrong way. And that's it. There's no chance for them. When you shave your head and you embark on this long journey here, if you start off wrong, you have no chance. Okay? He says on slide 1084, he says the way is explained on one side, okay, In Chinese, I'd say it's not. I think he means it's sought and not explained. Theories have two sides. Sometimes these people translate it, they didn't quite understand the purpose of the teaching. These Chinese teaching, they're very, very insightful, very, very meaningful. And this is why you can't blame them for not understanding this. Okay, so you see, Dao, Zhao, Yimian. So it means that when you cultivate the way, okay, you can find it. Only one in one path, okay, one face, okay. Whereas there's one face here, okay, one way, okay, one gate, one door, okay, Yimian, okay, one fashion, okay, is by looking at yourself. And this is ties back to the comment I made earlier. You listen to this, okay, it doesn't matter. You can listen for half an hour, hour and a half, the duration. You can use one piece and look at yourself. That is the way. Is that clear? Yes. Is there a question here, Seven?
Yes, Master. Daniel says, Emitofuo, Master, if we make a vow to never slander the Bodhisattva store, will that help us not to be careless and create this offense in the future?
Yes, of course it helps. Okay. Just beware of the danger of slandering. The way I teach you is don't slander anyone, no matter how wrong they are. It's none of your business. Okay? Look at yourself. Stop looking at others. It's a very bad habit to say, she's wrong, she's wrong, she's wrong, she's wrong. You look at yourself. I'm wrong, I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Every time you see someone else is wrong, it's you who are wrong. They're not wrong. You're more wrong than they are. That's all that matters. Do you understand that? I know you can see that people are wrong, but every time you see people are wrong, Master is unfair. Okay? Master so-and-so. Okay? When you see that, it's you who are wrong. Does it make sense to you? It's a very simple rule of thumb. Yes, YouTube.
입석 김나영님의 질문입니다. 우리 주위에 있는 그 누구라도 보살일 수 있다는 뜻인가요? 보살이라면 뭔가 선하다거나 지혜로움 등의 보살이 가지는 특징을 가졌을 것 같다는 생각이 드는데요. 혹시 우리가 주위에서 볼 때 절대 보살이 아닐 것 같은 사람도 보살일 수 있나요? 그래서 누구든 비방하지 않아야 한다는 뜻인지요? 감사합니다.
Master, can anybody around us be Bodhisattva? If he is Bodhisattva, he might have some characteristics of Bodhisattva, such as he has a goodness or wisdom. But sometimes, is it possible that somebody who doesn't seem to be Bodhisattva, but he's actually Bodhisattva? Is it possible? So, do you mean that we should not slander anybody?
That's what I said. I even went further. I told publicly, I pronounced publicly, I said, there are a lot of bodhisattvas in our temple. Now, let me add to that. There are lots of bodhisattvas in our temple. You slander anyone here, boy, are you in trouble. Does it help? Keep it simple. You don't need to understand. Just don't do it. Is there another question from K-YouTube?
네, 이파 김혜순님의 질문입니다. 보살을 비방하는 것이 용서받을 수 없다면 보살이 남을 비방하는 것은 용서가 되는 건가요?
If I slander Bodhisattva, it cannot be forgiven. How about Bodhisattva slander others? Is it okay?
I don't know. I'm not a bodhisattva, and I don't need to make excuses. Okay? It's the bodhisattva issue. When I become a bodhisattva, I know. Right now, I don't know. I can't help you. Just don't do it. How about that? And then someone said, Master YongHua says, I know some of you are saying that, Master, you're always scolding us and seeing us as wrong. Master YongHua says, when you become a teacher, you can do it because your teacher, meaning I have to transform and teach living beings. And if you didn't scold, if I didn't scold, then it's wrong of me not to scold you. Okay? And he says, maybe if I scold you and I'm angry and that somehow helps makes you become enlightened, then it's okay. Okay? And so mind your business is the short of that. If I scold people, Master YongHua says, if I scold people because I have my reasons and none of your business. Okay? It's not the way you think. Anyway, so up here, there's a section here I thought, I saw that here the second part of the verse was not translated. He dropped it. He says, the way here, the main point here, when you practice the way, you look at yourself. It's only one way. Okay? Whatever you do, you recite mantras, okay? Eventually, it points back to you. You recite Buddha's name, you want to go to the Pure Land, you have to look at yourself. Okay? 理论, 两平. He says, on the other hand, the theory or the principles, you have to look at both sides. Both sides are equal. You have to have equal consideration for both sides, right and wrong, good and evil. It cannot be one-sided. The principle cannot be one-sided. The teachings cannot be one-sided, cannot favor anyone, anything. Okay, that's why it's confusing sometimes, because sometimes the theory says good, like Icchantikas have Buddha nature, second half of the Nirvana Sutra. First half says they don't have the Buddha nature. Okay, so that's why Master YongHua chose not to get you confused. His disciples confused, says, never mind about this. Just look at yourself. Don't worry so much about knowledge. Look at yourself. You're here at the temple. Look at yourself. You have plenty of chances. 24 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour, half an hour to look at yourself. That's all. That's all that matters. And that is cultivation. Look at yourself. So, you can't impress people by showing how smart you are, how perceptive you are, that you're so perceptive that a fly flies by and you can tell whether it's male and female. Very famous Vietnam saying from courtesy of my grandmother. She says, because she's illiterate, so, and people kept her entire life, people looked down upon my grandmother, and she's very upset about it. She's illiterate, she's not that smart, okay? God save her soul, but so she, when she's upset, when people look down upon her, it says, "Don't think I'm stupid. And when a flies goes by, I can tell whether it's male or female." It's very Vietnam, and if you want to turn it like American, okay, Americanize it. When a fly flies by, I can tell it's male and female, comma, asshole. Just kidding. My God, you're so serious. Yes.
Thank you, Master. I thought you were going to say that when a fly passed by, I know if it's Republican or Democrat.
I promise you, I would not go into politics. Damn it. You are torturing me. All the frustration now is boiling up. We stop here tonight. Thank you, everyone, for putting up with me.